What are those essential money habits that you need to not only survive, but to strive? In today's program, we're going to be looking at essential money habits, and we're going to be looking at these issues from money habits for business, money habits for life, and how various management tools, including project management, may be able to help you to make better, smarter business and life decisions. They say life is like a game of chess. The more you understand how to play the game of chess, the more you understand how to master life. And I will definitely give you a walkthrough of that example. And perhaps you may be able to take some nuggets and some clues from what we're going to discuss today and really position yourself to not only learn the right money habits, but to apply yourself at them, master them, and position yourself to amass great wealth. To join me in this conversation today, I have some of my colleagues. I have Clement Frank, and Clement Frank, in the event that you're meeting him for the first time, he is an economist and he's a leader by profession. He's in the process of releasing his new book, and you will learn all about that in time to come. All you need to do is to keep following, subscribing, viewing this program, and you will be updated. I also have Elmore, and Elmore, he plays a role in cryptocurrency. His topic he looks at is crypto currency 101, understanding the future of money. So he will talk to us a lot about understanding the future of money. Last but not least, we have Shivani Sinarang, and Shivani Sinarang, she's a project management practitioner. She has a tremendous passion for project management. So with that being said, today we're going to be looking at the topic, essential money habits. Of course, we're going to be looking at this in the context of business, in the context of life, and we'll be looking at a whole lot of tools that can help you once you have the right money habits. Hey, friend, how are you guys?
Hey, we good, we good, we good.
Glad to hear that. Shivani, you look serious and your hair look a bit ruffled.
I'll comment then.
I'm not making any suggestions, but great to have you. How you keeping?
I'm not bad at all. Today is World Facilities Management Day, so trying to organize a couple things for my people.
Okay, okay. So the office got you busy.
Yes, yes,
Started
yes,
there.
yes, yes, yes.
All right. All right. To get the ball rolling, I want to quickly point out what I consider to be essential money habits, habits around money. And I'm going to use some simple thoughts, and but I'm going to link it back to the fact that life is like a game of chess. And when you master your chess move, you're able to master life. And this is some of the chess move that I really want you to learn, apply, and master, because it is my genuine belief that when you learn and master what I'm about to say, it's going to position you for greatness. So the first thing that I want you to learn and master is have a love for work. Have a love for work. Whether you're going to be doing hard work or smart work, sometimes you just need to start. All right. These are some of the first chess moves. They say the great chess players, they don't only know one, two, and three moves before they make the move. They know about 10 moves before they make that first move. So if you want to win in the chess of life, you need to understand these moves. So move one, you have just gotten there, the love for work. The second is love to earn. It's a habit that you need to have, love to earn. Third, love to save. Do you love saving? Fourth, love to invest. Love to invest. And the fifth, love to build wealth. All right, love to build wealth. So let us call all of this the chess move one. All right, so you got this down and you got this under control. What are the next chess move? Because you have to be able to think through your process, just like a chess master. Because the type of work that you're going to be doing is going to influence how much you earn. How much you earn is going to influence how much you can save. How much you save is going to influence how much you invest. And how much you invest is going to influence how you position yourself to build wealth. So these are the things you need to be clear about. Chess moves. All right. You don't want to put yourself into an awkward position. And when you're there, then you start to say, I wish I had think through this process. That's not how the chess players play the game. So I've given you two moves here. All right. One group, another group of moves. Now, let me give you another step, and we're going to expand on this as we go into this. So you learn the first 5 things. I also said that how much the type of work that you're doing is going to influence everything else. And you need to be aware of this. Now, one of the things that you're going to aim for, I'm giving you a third move here, is let us say you're in the Caribbean. You want to ensure that as you work, you're able to save at least $50,000 per month. Why? Because at the end of the year, guess how much you're going to be saving? $600,000. Another chess move. All right, we're talking about money moves here, essential money habits. Now, if you're to repeat this cycle for the next 6 years, you would have accumulated $3.6 million. So you're a millionaire. Simple as that. 6 years, you're a millionaire. You continue this process for the next 12 years, you would have accumulated $7.2 million. Now, the average person will say, hey, it's hard. I have to work hard and I'm not able to save. It's practically impossible for me to save. But what I'm about to say may shock you. The only reason you're not going to be able to save is because you're making bad chess moves from the beginning. You're not thinking through your processes. And let me tell you why quickly you're not going to be able to save. Because many of you, from the time you reach the age of 16, 17, 18, you think you're a big man and big girl. I'm talking to youths here right now. You're thinking that you have arrived, you can make your own independent decision. Yes, kudos to you, But is that a bad chess move? You think you're big and you want to go on your own. So you got to pay your own rent, your own light bill, your own telephone bill, your own transportation. All the bills drop on you. Just as you burst out of your flower, they say the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. From the time you burst out into the world and you now become that butterfly, you got your happy sack on your back that is weighing you down, all the bills. So the next chess move that you want to look at as you start to work, stay with mom and dad as long as you can. You know why? Because you don't have to carry the entire bill, rent and light bill and telephone bill. You can save. The money that you're not going to be paying in rent, put that into your savings. So don't tell me that you can't save. Your chess move is bad. All right? Your chess move is bad. And great chess players, as I said, they're seeing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 moves before they make the first move. And if you want to win at the game of life, the game of wealth creation, you have to start thinking like a chess master, not a chess novice, right? All right, so I'm gonna pause here for now. At least you have some ideas in terms of money habits that can push you forward and position you for financial greatness. And I trust that you have taken some notes and you're making this work. When I come back, I'm going to talk to folks because I know that many folks, you start life, you've gone out into the world, you start life, and you might say, hey, I'm on a treadmill. I can't go back to mommy and daddy. I don't have mom and dad. I'm going to give you some clues that you can use to position yourself to build wealth, to master the right money habits, and position yourself for financial greatness. Frank, I'm going to come to you, then Shivani, then Elmore. All to you, Frank.
All right, thanks a lot. Mastering your money and essential financial habits that we all need to adopt. There are there are a range of property investing strategies to help one get an edge over competition. From the classic buy and hold to the higher risk and flip, there are no shortage of methods and theories, and no shortages of opinions on each of these as well. And while developing your knowledge and understanding of these strategies is really important, no investor can succeed without adopting some habits. So, why is developing good financial habits essential? You may have a good or fairly good understanding of investing, and perhaps your initial strategy has started to work and you've already started to see some positive cash flow on your investment, or perhaps the investment is slowly starting to increase in value. But without effective money management skills and habits, there's a good chance that you won't be able to control finances and may even start to lose out in the long run. A good financial habit are the bread and butter of investing. It's a great place to start. You can apply it to a wide range of investing opportunities. And financial habits go hand in hand with wealth creation strategies, which are critical in achieving long term financial stability. It is also wrong to assume that just because you're experienced in passive real investing, that you can't fine tune your existing habits. Whether you're new to investing or have some experience on the belt, here are some key financial literacy tips that you can apply to your investing lifestyle. The first one should come as no surprise, which is a key part of financial success. It's budgeting. While easy to understand, it can certainly be difficult to master. Budgeting is a foundation to developing good financial habits. Budgeting requires more than just a rough idea of your expenses and income. It should provide a comprehensive overview of what you are spending over a certain period of time, the income you're generating from your job and assets, as well as any saving targets you have in mind. It also helps to categorize these expenses into essential costs, that is, rent or mortgage bills, and discretionary, what you may spend on entertainment and leisure. That's what we consider discretionary. And this will help you figure out what you can cut down and where you can cut down. The budget will set limits and saving goals that are realistic, so to not become discouraged by not meeting strict saving limits. Remember, it is okay to not meet the budget target every once in a while. What is important is that you remain as consistent as possible over a long period of time. Systematically review your budget and adjust accordingly to accommodate any new circumstances that may arise. Intelligent saving and investing is another key habit if you want to be consistent in saving. For example, if you experience an unexpected financial lump sum, which is a gift, beneficial in your will, the first thought should be, how can I invest this? And it also requires putting some money away each week to invest. This saving strategy should cover any long term or short term goals. And while you may not necessarily know where to direct the investment initially, putting money away each week means you'll have finances available when you've decided to invest. And this fund will assist you in emergencies or come in handy when unforeseen circumstances arise. It may even be worth setting up an automatic transfers to separate accounts designating for saving purposes. And once you've got savings all taken care of, then it becomes about investing. Explore a range of investment options, whether it be property, stocks, or some other option. Smart investments start with knowing your risk tolerance and financial objectives. Yes, this may mean some lifestyle sacrifices, but intelligent saving and investing is a critical habit to develop. And this doesn't have to be a considerable amount either. Just a bit here and there, it all helps. And for time, I'll hand you back to Gary.
All right, thanks for that share, Frank. What I want to do now is us to, I'm going to come to Shivani shortly, but Shivani, as you, just before we come to you, I want you to perhaps look at those essential money habits that we all need to have for business and for life, and the significant role that project management can play in guiding and providing the right tools to really catapult persons to success. Or perhaps you may want to bring your perspective. Elmore, um, can you talk to us a little bit about cryptocurrency and why is it why you see it as being an essential habit for people to have, to know about it perhaps, and before they start investing in it? Elmore.
Yes. So the reason why cryptocurrency it's becoming a investment vehicle, it's for many different reasons. Many individuals are starting to look at this space to be able to store their value, and some others are in this space to be able to make gains on their investment. Whichever of these ones are, the reason why this is now coming around full circle is because we have this conversation happening around the central bank digital currencies. And when we start to dig in a little bit more into what that entails, and we look at what the programmability aspect of it is, we come to learn very quickly that we need to be able to have a place where we can store our wealth. And because the whole entire ecosystem since March 2023 being moved to the blockchain ecosystem, now we have to be with our red alerts and have to become proactive in that space, because as we are speaking here today, last week was a telltale sign that this is coming around full circle to where the World Economic Forum had announced that 98% of the world was ready to launch the central bank digital currency. Now, this is what it has caused me to be able to create the sounding horn for individuals to start to understand a difference between what is going to become a centralized ecosystem on the underlying layer the protocol or the whole entire infrastructure called the blockchain. And at the same time, in that same space, we are learning what the centralized ecosystems are and what they're going to be like. And so now it becomes not just a way to have a viable source to where you can use it whenever you have the need to use it, but now we're starting to see this whole entire ecosystem starting to become a conversation amongst nations. And what's going on is that we can look at already the country of El Salvador that has completely de-dollarized, has been completely out of their own currency because of how inflated it got. And they then, in turn, by having a super, I would say this, the super visionary leader, took the Bitcoin concept, what it's able to do, which is to be able to do cross-border payments for individuals that have access to banking systems, and also for individuals that were, completely out of the banking system, which for that country, this is about 75 was about 75% of their population. So then when we start to look at the way that this is able to be adapted and how this is able to be engaging more of the population to become, part of an economic system to for them to be able to take advantage of, then we start to see things from a complete different perspective. Because now, where the conversation turns out, how can I get involved and how can I position myself correctly? How can I, store my wealth for the future so that it does not get eaten up by inflation, or it does not get eaten up by my bank institution closing or the central bank of that country closing, like it has happened already around many countries around the world. We could talk about Venezuela, we could talk about Argentina, we could talk about Lebanon, we could talk about Zimbabwe. These are perfect examples to look at. And so now we're seeing that this ecosystem, it's now got it is a more bona fide area to where it's now allowing institutions to have created this product, the ETF, to be able to have their own, customers to be able to have access to it. Because something that is very little, that is untold, is that many individuals that are in different branches of institutions, they are not allowed to invest in this space called cryptocurrency, because they're just not allowed. They would essentially lose their positions if they did so. And now, with this new product, the ETF, which is not just a more secure way for them to invest in it, but now it gives them that option. We're starting to see that, the day yesterday, we have on Hong Kong launched the ETF. We already know that United States has their ETF. So now we're starting to see what is considered the adoption curve take place, and we're still sitting in front of it. So with that information being exposed, this should allow you to start to switch your perspective, because all of the perspective that has been available in the crypto space to the public has been all of the faulty ways the ecosystem has, wiped out some people from their positions, that there were bad actors in this space, as it has been in every other sector. There's always been bad actors at the beginning stages of any sector. And so we have experienced that. And because of the fact that for the first time in history, and I'm pretty sure that Claremont will agree with this is the first time in history to where money is separated from the state, which means now individuals like us are able to have full control of our finances, and we have full control over our money versus, when we have in fiat currency, where we have to be always accounting for inflation. And so, we the regular common folk is able to see that things are starting to get more expensive. But what they are essentially not realizing is that their currency that they're holding in their hand, it's devaluing, and so therefore they have to put more dollars on top of the same products and services. And this is the one of the main reasons why I have, created the book Crypto 101, Understanding the Future of Money, because I want people to understand the current ecosystem, what the fiat currency is, the history of money, what has caused this to take place, how long did it actually take to get place, because this whole concept of separating the money from the state is a concept that's been worked on since the 1930s. And so now the technology essentially it's ready to be able to adopt this ecosystem. Now, whether it will take a little bit longer than usual, it might be, but it seems like there is a huge gold rush that is upcoming into the space, being that we have these new ETF products that have caused the marketplace to go up to over 10 times the demand for what it's available on a daily basis. Now, this should raise an alarm for you, because that means that possibly you might not be able to take a position in the marketplace, because unfortunately you will be outbought. So this is things that are going on right now in the marketplace. These are things that have been going on in the marketplace, and so now I am in the position to be able to help you see this perspective for what it is, not for what it's been painted to you via the media sources. That's my take.
All right, thanks for that share, Elmore. I trust the listening public took some notes on some of the historical data on cryptocurrency, and some of the current and some of the future realities. We will continue to examine cryptocurrency, and what I'm happy about is that today um, the cryptocurrency market is now under the guidance of the federal government financial body, the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, which means like any other financial instrument, it is being observed, and it's being the safeguards are in place to protect the average persons out there. With that being said, I want to come now to Shivani to give us her scholarly interpretation and to see how she's going to relate to the subject. All to you, Shivani.
Thanks, Gary.
Anytime.
Before I start, I just want to acknowledge, we're speaking about money and habits and growing money and growing wealth. And it's so necessary when we are managing all the different types of projects. Now, I face it all the time in facilities management. And I just wanted to use the opportunity to really acknowledge World Facilities Management Day and, all the persons that are involved in facilities management, because we all know we need to be magicians with no money and little bit of money. So this is such a good conversation to flow into facilities management as well, that you need to have money to manage your buildings. And when we don't have it, what do we have to do? We need to become more innovative and innovation maintenance strategies as well. So understanding money, understanding the habits, understanding what to do will definitely help us in all areas, in business, in organizations, in any particular area that you're in. As we say, if you don't have money, what can you do? However, money, in order to do what you want to do, you need to find different strategies, right? You need to find different strategies. As what Elmo is saying, you have the crypto, you have all these different types of currencies now, and the digital way of doing business. But it all boils down to, again, how do you gain this funding? So I just wanted to bring forward the agile project management way of doing something like this and the benefits management plan. So these are two concepts that I've always seen that can help us, especially when you are trying to grow wealth. So agile, when you are planning it and you are planning what is the necessary things that you require, what we'll need to do is to sort out, when do you require the funding? When do you require the funding? So for me, I would show better value. And from a facilities management and a project management point, what is the building that I want to pump all this money into? What is the value that I'm going to get back from it? And this is how I would use the funding as well when you get the funding. And of course, it may be a building that you can monetize. And once you can monetize that, now you can use the earnings from that to actually fund another project. So it's the agile way, which is you need to look at big wins. I like to look at big wins as well, which will give you the best value. You select what will do it, and you feed the funding into that people can see the value. But then how can that now make more money for something else? Because you just don't want to be spending, you want to be able to make money out of what you have put in. And now you can monetize this building for other aspects, and you rent it, you do whatever you want with the building in order to earn, and that money then can be funding for other projects within the organization, or some transformational projects. But it all starts by you analyzing which one will give you the best value, and you put the money into that once you are able to get the funding. But in order to acquire the funding, we need to develop effective business cases and effective benefits management plan. So it's a conversation that we can go into many different ways, but just key takeaways that I hope people will take from this aspect of the conversation in order to grow your wealth, as we see, because you need, if you're working within the organization, you need to get money to move from one project into another. Firstly, you have to determine which one will bring in that amount of money to grow something else. So don't do one that cannot grow. Don't do something, and that's why I say sometimes you need to just stop. Don't finish everything that you started. You have to analyze which one will give the most value. So that's my take on it, Gary. Thanks again.
All right, thanks for that share, Shivani. Shivani is the big ticket thinker. Yeah, I love the concept of invested into property and use the income from property to put into other smart income producing asset. So I trust that the audience would have had some notes there to jot down and to ponder upon. I want to come alongside my team, and I also want to expand a little bit on what I would have said early on. Sometimes in life you have to start somewhere. The most important thing is for you to start. You may not be fortunate enough to, have, the family setting that you can, that pours capital into you, so you can start at the top. Sometimes you just have to start at the bottom, and this is what's going to bring you back to the fact that I would have said you want to love working, because you work to earn, you earn to save, you save to invest, you invest to build wealth. This has to be your mindset when you want to position yourself for financial greatness. Now, I've gone through a whole lot of chess moves, so let me just go to some of the other chess moves. I already said that one of the things that you do, which is a trap, a bad habit, from the time you reach 16, 17, 18, you want to go on your own. You turn big man and big pop, you turn pit bull now. So you think you can go and face the world. Only you recognize that as a pit bull, when you start to bite the reality of life, it's breaking your teeth. So how do you navigate those realities? So let us suppose that you're the young one, you have already stepped out in life, you don't have your mom and dad to brace you. What are some options? The next thing that I'm going to say is choose your partner right. All right. Don't let it be an emotional decision, because one of the things that you can do, you can choose a partner that can pull you down instead of push you forward. All right. If you choose the right partner, you don't have mom and dad, you don't have that support system. Your partner can come alongside you, and you guys start to map out your future plan. Mapping out your future plan is an essential money habit because you come together, and instead of you now having one source of income to position yourself for financial greatness, you have you and your partner. All right. So you and your partners, you're now working together. And guess what? Perhaps all of your earning, you take care of the house and all the bills and your partner. And all of your partner income goes into a savings account. You're working together as a team to master the right money habits to position yourself for financial greatness. And these are things that you can do. I will talk to you before the end of this program about the Pathway 5. And what is Pathway 5? Pathway 5 really helps you to understand what is the science, the theory, and the practice of wealth creation. The science, the theory, and the practice of wealth creation. So we're not going to talk about wealth creation, in a vacuum. We're going to talk about it from the scientific standpoint. We're going to talk about it in terms of theory, and we're going to talk about it in terms of practice. But I'll talk about that, trusting, before I shut down today's program, so you know where to start looking to get the right information, support to position yourself for financial greatness. Now, let me give you another hack. All right. Some of the things that you do again as you become couples, you rushed into childbearing. Is it possible that that can be delayed until you have your master plan? Because bringing a child into this world is not an exercise to take lightly. You're going to be saddled with this responsibility for life. I don't know about you, the average parent, but you're going to be saddled with this responsibility for life once you're the type of parent that you ought to be. I have my kids, the biggest is what, 21 now, but they're still my babies. It doesn't matter how big they grow. I have a responsibility to them. All right. Now, what if you delay this process until you get your financial game plan working the way you want it to work? So you're now in that position of strength to have income producing assets that doesn't affect how you invest in your offspring. Because if you go to the offspring before you start to look at income producing assets, those children can take away all of your savings. All of your savings. Can you delay this for a year or two? Can you delay it for 5 years? Can you plan this so when you're going into this, you're going into it like a master chess player? You understand the moves. You're not just making an emotional decision, but you're making a highly educated decision in terms of how you navigate the platform. Think about that. The next move that I'm going to give you is, why not look at a secondary source of income? So you're young, and when you're young, you're the prime of your age. You got energy, you got everything that you need to your advantage. What about a second stream of income? So you might be finishing one job, and instead of going to hang with the boys and spend some money on on liquor, you go to a second job. That's another source of income coming in. So you have your spouse, the spouse money is saving, and you have your income coming from a second source. That too is going to savings. So what we are trying to do here is to really tell you that there's always a way out. Many persons, you have dreams and hopes and aspiration, and what you bring to the negotiation table is excuse. You can't afford to bring excuse to the negotiation table. This is your life we are talking about here. You owe it to yourself to ensure that you have the right information. You owe it to yourself to ensure that you have the right information. So you're a master chess player. If you don't understand the chess move, you're going to choke up, and you're going to create uncomfortable situations and experiences for your spouse and your kids. Our mission is to provide you with the kind of information, the mentorship, the coaching, the guidance, expose you to a supportive community that wants you to win. The last point that I'm going to make here, why not think about multiple streams of income? You want multiple streams of income. And here is where you're going to start to think, yes, I'm going to work as hard as possible at active income. But what if I can do some passive income? Shivani just talked about invested in property. That's passive income. Elmore talked about investing in cryptocurrency. That's passive income. Frank talked about a number of different techniques. That's passive income. So you might understand this in the theory, but you want to understand this in the science and you want to understand this in the practice. And we are now have a community that we are walking you through this. And give us some time. We're going to talk to you so much more about this, because when we come and talk, it's not because we have the time to come and talk with you. We are doing this because we are humanitarian. And what we want to do is to affect positive change in your life. You know, the great book says that the lack of knowledge of people shall perish. Our role is to ensure that we can provide you and give you access to that knowledge so you don't have to perish financially. And by extension, because you individual, you're perishing financially, you're creating this massive negative effect on your spouse and your kids. That's not what you want for your life. Our role is to help you to change that. So I'm going to pause here for now, and I'm going to turn to Master Frank to give us his thoughts on leadership. And we're going to begin to wrap up here as we go around the table. Frank, all to you.
Thank you, Gary. Elmore, always a good share as usual. And the beautiful Shivani, enjoyed all the key points. I've learned a lot from y'all. But one of the things I must stress also is that people are not, I mean, this is what I find, people are not really educating themselves when it comes to investing and having good financial habits. I've mentioned before that investors may feel that the financial habits come naturally at some point. Ain't happening. Being complacent and thinking you have a complete understanding of investing can actually have a negative effect. A critical habit that investors should develop to truly master their money is to always look for opportunities to learn. The finance world is complex, it's dynamic, always changing. That's why it's important to stay informed on the latest financial news, the latest in investment strategies and trends in the market. And as an investor, you have to take advantage of all the free resources at your disposal, from books, newspapers, to podcasts and workshops. There's no shortage of information on offer. Staying up to date on the finance world can help you avoid what we call costly mistakes, make informed decisions, and think of new ways to make passive income. At the end of the day, it will give you the edge over the competition. So the value of financial knowledge should never, and I repeat, never be underestimated. And then you need to manage your debt. Keeping track of your debt will give you the best chance of mastering your money, and is a key habit to develop early in the investing journey. It's all about getting in control early. You prioritize payments on high interest debt first. This may include your credit card debts and other personal loans. To alleviate high cost debt, consider making the most of balance transfers, debt consolidation strategies, negotiating low interest rate with lenders. Because it's really important that you stay on top of any debt that you accrued, as this can have an effect on your credit score and future financial opportunities. At the end of the day, You're managing debt. It will not only improve your financial situation, but also lighten the mental burden and ensure long term financial freedom. It is also important to remember not to be afraid of debt. And I think Gary should smile at this one. There's a difference between good and bad debt, as discussed in time past. So you have to learn the power of leveraging to grow your investment portfolio. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, great share, Frank. Love that. There's good and bad debt, and I really trust that the public is taking note of all of this. I want to come to Elmore to give your closing thoughts before coming over to Shivani. Elmore?
All right. Well, I wanna just say that when it comes into this brand new uh, economic system that it's considered the cryptocurrency world, I think that one of the aspects of the space that is very little highlighted is on the power that it provides to individuals and the power that it provides to be able to transact freely and to be able to transact in a manner that it's at the speed of light. We're not talking as of what the traditional ecosystem does. I mean, if I were to send um, Frank $1 from where I am, if I do it to the traditional ecosystem, and I'm pretty sure the Frank will be able to understand this part. It would take a lot more than just $1 for me to be able to put it into the traditional system to be able to reach him. Whether this would be through using MoneyGram system or using Western Union or any of the other availability systems available, it'll take some time and it'll be at a decent high cost. Versus that when we started to have a conversation around adopting the space and to be able to show and showcase the power of this ecosystem, that I remember, I still have it in the back of my mind, Frank, when I sent him the first cryptocurrency from a complete different country in a matter of seconds, and it didn't cost all the high fee network fees that it takes for that $1 to reach to him. If I would have done it in a traditional route, it would have cost me probably 4 or 5 times the dollar amount that I was going to send him, and vice versa when I was able to use the power of this new economic system on called the blockchain. I was able to do it within seconds, and he was able to receive those funds
Money.
automatically, which I remember, because the reason why I remember this a lot is because I remember Frank's face when he received the crypto. It was like an odd moment, like a wow, how were you able to just send me $1 so fast? And this is just, and it cost me literally it cost me 10 cents to do it, and it was like a moment of finding this brand new ecosystem that has this power that you didn't understand before, but that when you see it at play, it
Mhm.
really turns around your perspective, because now when we are talking about doing business, we're talking about to be able to do cross-border payments, to be able to do business with countries that might not accept our currency or vice versa. And now, because of this whole entire new technology called blockchain, we are able to bypass all of either there are sanctions or there are, you know, friction between the countries and they're not accepting each other's currency. Now, this completely shatters that thought process that I cannot do business here because this country does not accept it, or vice versa. And this is what really makes it to where it brings this shine of light to a world that we understand that only half of the world's population have access to. And on top of that, the amount of time and energy and consumption that it takes to be able to just get a few dollars transfer over the system, to where using the blockchain is literally in minutes, if not seconds, and it's at a fraction of a cost. And this now is going to allow for the world to go at the speed of light when it comes to the financial ecosystem. And I think it's something that is very little highlighted on. It's what the how powerful this space is, and not just to be able to put it in that manner. It is also one of the technologies that was created for the 21st century that is as profound as the light bulb and is as profound as the steam engine. This is a whole new ecosystem that is going to allow individuals like us and individuals at any debt level to be able to transact freely without having to wait such a long time, and also without having to pay the high net worth fees that we got used to of paying and got used to that ecosystem. But now it's a new day, it's a new ecosystem, there's a new power in the crosshairs that it's going to open many doors for entrepreneurs all over the world, because we have entrepreneurs right now that are not able to launch their businesses because they do not have access to the financial ecosystem. This is something that has been proven when you look at the small country of El Salvador, to where the 50% of the country that was outside of the ecosystem for the regular financial banking system, once they got access to it, they started to open up businesses. They started to be able to transact around the community, to be able to pay for goods and services. And this allowed this whole new system to get to this whole new economy to get created, because of these individuals being able to use this new technology, versus to where prior of that time they were completely obsolete and didn't have no way to be able to get their ideas to fruition, because they were just simply outcasts from the financial system. This is the power of the blockchain. This is the power that cryptocurrency has behind, which allows to open the floodgates for the entrepreneurs around the world to be able to have that true freedom in how they're using their funds and how they're able to expand their horizons.
Okay. All right, great share, Shivani. Great share, Elmore. Um, Forgive me. Um, I do believe you made some great points, and I think one of the things that it's important that I take away from what you said is the cost reduction in capital transfer when you use the cryptocurrency space. We have to do so much more talking on this. I'm not worried about the speed of financial transaction, because the speed can take place within minutes. It can be done using the traditional system. But what I'm excited about is the cost, the reduced cost, because sometimes some of the platform you call, when you use those platform, it really takes away a large chunk of your income just doing a transfer. There are some hacks around that. We'll talk about all of that later on, but I love those share. Well, I can't wait to come to Shivani to hear her thoughts, closing thoughts on today's topic, and to really inject the project management concept. On this platform, you would always hear me saying that project management plays us a pivotal role in helping you to position yourself for success. Um, on Monday, Shivani spoke about the Gantt chart. And what I love about the Gantt chart is that it really, really, really helps you to get a clear mental picture of your processes. And you can get clearer than the Gantt chart. So, Shivani, all to you.
Thanks, Gary. Now, um, Frank, Thanks for, stating those good things about me as you were talking about what you learn and not talking about my hair and how it looks this morning. Like, I'm not going to call anybody names, right? But thanks, Frank,
So,
right?
so,
Very much.
so I did make good comment, right? I did throw the
Yeah.
flowers out at the red carpet on
Yeah.
Fisher
Yeah.
Valley, right?
So, in closing for me, this is a main thing in projects that we have to do in order to get funding, in order to get wealth, as we say for projects, right? Because you can't do it if you don't get the funding in order to execute. I have about 5 projects that I am in the midst of trying to acquire some funding for within my organization. Otherwise, we just can't move forward. And a document, I believe in documentation as well, to put your thoughts down and make sure that you understand your flow, is a benefits management plan. You might say you want to go to the crypto, you want to do different investments. What are the benefits of doing something like this? So I want us to look at it from the point of a benefits management plan. You as the individual, you document a benefits management plan. What are the benefits of you doing something like this? Investing, you may have short term, long term. Just like in projects, you have short term funding for a project, long term funding for a larger project that you want to get involved. How are you going to do it? It's a benefit, and when those benefits, for me, it's very important when it will be realized. So you have a benefits management plan where you integrate benefits realization, which is part of it. So to grow wealth, benefits management and benefits realization, two very important documents that you should also integrate as part of your entire plan. Thanks, Gary, and I'm going to get my brush now to comb my hair. Thank you very much.
No. Oh man, this is
Gary froze
Gary,
with that last statement.
Gary
You could have
froze.
shortened up
Gary
to that.
freeze.
I hear you though. You're gonna get a brush.
Yes.
Oh man, I have nothing more to say before I get
Yes.
set up,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
Me tech is set up. I as a draft player. I think you're 5 moves ahead. Frank, you mute.
When we come off of the live, I can tell you what he meant.
Okay, my friends. Okay, my friends. All right, as
Oh, God.
promised, I as promised, I'm gonna give some information on Pathway 5. Pathway 5 is a very unique platform of learning. And this platform, we will be talking a lot about the science, the theory, and the practice of wealth creation. So I just want to bring to you a couple of things. One of the first pathway that you will be introduced to is what we call the pathway of preparation. How prepared are you for success? You have so many persons you're going after success. How prepared for success are you? What preparation look like? This program will really help you to understand that. All right. So this platform, we're going to go deep into some of those concepts. Just let me give a clue. Have value that have value that people value is one way that you can prepare. But guess what? We have recognized that to get value that people value, there's a capital associated with that. How do you get to capital? The average person would say, as Shivani just spoke about, access to capital can slow your project process down. In this program, we're going to talk to you about traditional financial sources, which is debt, equity, credit, creative finance, and hard money lending. But guess what else we're going to talk to you about? Because you may not reach the pre-qualification criteria for none of those financial instruments. But what about collaborative economies? What about, group economics as a way of raising capital? So we're going to be looking at the solution. Pathway 5 is going to be transformational to the average person that wants to position themselves to build wealth. So I just want to give that a little bit to you. So I want us to take this time now to thank the listening audience. Today we are reaching over 50 countries. We have over 40,000 persons who have subscribed to 2 of our platforms. I want to thank you so much to the depths of my heart for supporting the platform. I also want to take this time to encourage those who have not yet subscribed to press that subscription button. It's free, and you will be helping the algorithm, and you will be the first to get these information that we are sharing on a regular basis. Along with this, the information will keep getting better and better, but we continue to do in-depth research. We continue to draw upon our experiences and knowledge to ensure that we can help you make better business and better life decisions. I want to thank Elmore for always showing up and helping the world to understand more about cryptocurrency. I know the world has people in the world, depending on where you are, you have so much skepticism with this financial instrument. But I want to say it is backed now by the SEC. The SEC is the U.S. financial regulation body, and once their seal of stamp and approval is on that, it means that it's something good. You just need to learn about it. So we can't allow ourselves to be hijacked by fear. So I want to also thank Frank for always showing up and making his contribution, helping us to understand things from an economic standpoint, because he's an economist by profession. He's also a leader. And I also want to thank Shivani. Shivani is a project management specialist. And I trust that those who know Shivani, she literally represents project management. You feel it when she begins to speak. So I want to thank all of you for being here and supporting these initiatives. With that being said, I want to say do have an enjoyable Wednesday and the rest of the week ahead. To the public, do have fun. Remember, work hard. Why? Because you want to earn. Why? Because you want to save. Why? Because you want to invest. Why? Because you want to build wealth. So apply those habits that I'm certain that you're going to make great things happen in your life financially. See you guys.